Hey everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between MouzStrelok and Socke here on Lost Temple. We have Socke spawning as the red Protoss player at the 2 o'clock position. Meanwhile, we have MouzStrelok spawning over here at the 7 o'clock position. So, kind of a cross spawn, kind of not. Both on what I would call the bottom side. Actually, I don't know, if you split the map diagonally this way, they're on the same side. I guess it would be friendly spawns on a 2v2. So yeah, I'll call it they're spawning friendly if it was a 2v2 matchup as opposed to each other. So MouzStrelok still waiting to get that supply depot, and now getting that supply depot on this backside. That supply depot is a little bit later than normal. He didn't. Perhaps there was something missing, or perhaps he somehow messed up his start a little bit, as normally that supply depot is usually just a tad earlier. Anyways, that supply depot gonna be completed in just a moment, and now sitting at maximum. So now sitting at supply, now continuing to try to get some minerals off. Coming back over here, however, we have Socke now getting that pylon and getting that gateway up. So a 9 pylon into a 12 gateway, not using chrono boost. Take it back, using chrono boost, starting to produce those probes as quickly as possible. Probe now going to go ahead and move off to this north side, try to see if is it in fact going to be a close spawn here on Lost Temple, and it is not going to be a close spawn. Barracks now being put down and a gas now being placed down as well. So early gas and early barracks, pretty much a standard opening. We'll see if it's going to be a tech lab or Reapers or perhaps Marauders. Just a lot of changes recently in the latest patch. The Terran players are unable to just mass Marauders and only produce Marauders throughout the whole entire game. Hopefully the professional players will have better options, as they've made Terran mech much easier to produce now. Socke now coming in, dropping in a single Cybernetics core as he sees this as SCV. Now Stevie the SCV just running around, able to just get a good look at the gateway and the Cybernetics core, and I believe that's Russian. I'm not sure. I'm sure someone out there who can read Russian can tell me what that says. Marauders now being produced by MouzStrelok. So Marauders instead of Reapers. Marauders the better unit in terms of overall functionality, as an upgraded Marauder can pretty much solo any solo 1v1 and any other unit from that gateway. I believe that's why a lot of those Protoss players are still upset with that Marauder, as that Marauder is stronger than a Zealot if it's microed, stronger than a Stalker, stronger than a Sentry, pretty much stronger than the whole entire arsenal. The only thing that could beat it is probably the Dark Templar if there is no scanning or anything of that nature. And the High Templar doesn't even stand a chance, as it doesn't have a base attack, and Psystorm has been seriously nerfed since the original Brood War. Single Marauder now going to be coming in, and we'll see how that's gonna work, as we have a Stalker now coming out. So it's going to be a Stalker versus a Marauder? No Stalker versus Marauder. Perhaps the SCV wants to put down a bunker right here and then start to push. Let's going to see double Marauders against that one particular Stalker, and that Stalker being forced to run away. No concussive missiles on that Stalker just quite yet, otherwise that Stalker would have already been dead. So that was a definite change in that strategy. Stalker now coming in, SCV's coming over to join in on that, or sorry, Probe's now coming over to join in on that fight. Sentry able to just grab that high ground. And we'll see once again how that's going to work. With that Sentry, he will be able to block down the ramp, keep the units on the low ground, and then use the range attack of the Sentry and that Stalker to shoot at the Marauder, as that Marauder doesn't have enough range. Back over here we have 3 Marauders, and 3 Marauders sitting outside MouzStrelok's base. Mouse trying to get an expansion up and running. So command center now being built, now going for triple barracks. Triple barracks producing mass Marauders, not even bothering with that secondary gas. No, stim pack now being researched, no concussive shell research yet, and really, Strelok really needs to consider getting down a secondary gas in order to get that, at least that concussive shell. The concussive shells are just so powerful for that Marauder that it's almost an absolute just a requirement to get it. Now Strelok now producing more SCVs to try to increase that mining time. I would have suggested upgrading to an orbital command while leaving the main command center continuing to build SCVs, but we'll see how that works. Immortal and Stalkers with the Sentry, that's just a very common Protoss opening. Probably a single gateway into Cybernetics core, into Robotics facility, now gonna get a secondary gateway while researching Warp Gate. Pretty standard opening so far. SCV now trying to run back away from those Stalkers. Stalkers, I believe, have a little bit of a faster movement. Yeah, and down that SCV goes. So, down goes an SCV, and now we have an Observer overhead. Terran players really need to get a missile turret in their base early to counteract that Observer, especially on this high ground choke point, as the Marauders, they fight very, very comfortably when unchallenged, even against Immortals. But as soon as that Observer is overhead, those Stalkers and those Immortals are able to consistently shoot up, and we'll see how that works. Nice use of that force field there, and then pushing this attack back. Marauders on that high ground, forcing or trying to fight back against this low ground, doing a little bit of a hit and attack, able to continue to fight. SCV is no longer mining. Once again, another force field, so very nicely done. Sentry still has enough energy for one additional force field, pulling back away. Are we going to get one more force field down? Perhaps so, perhaps not. Waiting for it, and in come those Marauders. Badly placed force field, so that those Marauders will in fact be able to come down, but still beautifully done by Socke. So Socke waiting until they had plenty of energy on that single sentry, and then continuing to fight back. One Immortal continuing to shoot. Both sides taking heavy losses. Socke down to an 800 mineral army, but able to warp in an additional Stalker, looking for that secondary gateway. Secondary gateway now being built as well. No chrono boost being used on that one warp gate. A little surprised. And now Stalkers continuing to fight. Two Immortals going to go ahead and just try to change the tide of this battle. One Stalker, one Marauder now quickly getting taken down, and more units continuing to fight. Low hit point Marauders all over the place. Now two Marauders fighting against two Immortals. Not going to be an even matchup. And those two Immortals are just going to be able to just wreck everything here in just a moment. SCV's coming off the ramp, trying to take down those Immortals. Those Immortals with those fusion cutters trying to bypass that Immortal hardened shield. Down goes that last Marauders. So it's going to be an army of SCVs against a single Immortal at this stage. Immortal once again trying to pull back away, doing a little bit of a hit and attack, hit and a move. More units being warped in, and Immortal now trying to focus down that last Marauder, as those Marauders Marauders take 50 damage from that Immortal, and just more fighting coming in. SCV is dancing around that Immortal, trying to take down that one low hit point Immortal, already down to 48 hit points, but those fusion cutters are not going to be dealing enough damage, and Mouse is forced to say GG. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this best of 3 matchup between Mouse and Socke here on Lost Temple.